The hum of the streetlight was the only sound left. A body on the floor, face pressed against cracked linoleum, eyes wide like they've been waiting for someone who never came. The smell, iron and rot, clung to my lungs, thicker than the night air. I didn't scream. I didn't move. I just watched the blood map itself across the tiles, lines sharp, deliberate, like handwriting. A phone kept ringing in the next room, shrill and relentless. Nobody answered. Nobody wanted to. And in that silence, I heard it, the faintest whisper carried from the dark. You didn't hear this from me. I don't chase crimes. They find me, quietly, like shadows slipping under locked doors. The scene spoke louder than anyone alive could. A family photo on the counter, but one face torn out. A digital clock blinking 2:17 a.m., though the coroner would later insist death came closer to midnight. A smear of blood angled too cleanly, like it wasn't part of the struggle at all, but placed. Logic should have been my anchor, but the silence pressed harder than reason. My heart wanted to scream the story out loud. My mind told me to wait, to let the lies show their cracks. The smallest fractures, too many keys on the table, a wine glass with lipstick in a house where the victim lived alone. Every discovery was a weight added to my chest, and still I wrote it down. Cold, precise, because panic doesn't solve murders, evidence does. The further I dug, the less anyone wanted to meet my eyes. Words grew shorter, clipped. Smiles felt rehearsed, stretched too thin. Everyone was grieving, but some were rehearsing grief. The neighbor's voice cracked when I asked where she'd been that night. Not cracked with sorrow, cracked with something she didn't want to spill. The victim's brother kept wringing his hands, repeating the same line. I didn't hear anything. I swear I didn't. Too clean, too rehearsed, too safe. And it hit me. This wasn't random. This wasn't a burglary gone wrong, or a stranger slipping into the wrong house. It was planned, staged, personal. Every detail meant something. Every silence weighed heavier than words. I felt paranoia crawl beneath my skin. The crime wasn't just about a dead body. It was about control. Whoever did this hadn't killed to hide. They killed to own the silence that followed. The evidence arrived not with a bang, but with a hum. The playback of a hidden recording, left in a phone I almost didn't check. A conversation, low and hushed. It has to look like she slipped. And if someone asks, we say nothing. We always say nothing. The voices weren't strangers. They belonged to family. Blood plotting against blood. Not for money, not for revenge, for power. Quiet, suffocating power. I didn't flinch when I heard it. My body didn't shake. It was worse than that. I felt still, frozen. A silence so heavy it drowned even thought. The truth wasn't a revelation. It was confirmation. I had always known the grief in that house was too neat, too rehearsed. The lie had been written in their eyes before it was ever recorded. Justice didn't come in sirens or handcuffs. It came in timing. I placed the recording on the table at the reading of the will, slid the phone forward, and pressed play. No words, no accusations, just the sound of their own voices filling the room, the weight of their own conspiracy hanging them from within. I watched their faces drain, not with surprise, but with the realization that silence had failed them. Their calm rehearsals shattered in seconds. Every guest in that room became a witness. I didn't need to scream. I didn't need to move. They were already undone. The truth destroys faster than fire ever could. And as they reached for excuses, I just leaned back, steady, untouched, because I had already won the moment I let their own words betray them. Afterward, the city kept moving. Lights blinked in towers. Cars rolled past. Nothing stopped for justice. Not here, not ever. I walked away without a word, the recording still echoing in the silence behind me. People called it closure. I called it inevitability. There was no joy, no triumph, just clarity, sharp and unyielding. I didn't see myself as a savior, just a witness, a shadow carrying a truth no one else wanted to hold. And as I stepped into the night, I knew the only line worth remembering: justice was never about mercy.